Hi guys and welcome back to Modest Sicario Gaming, and we're here with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel deck profile. So I'm kind of in two spots about this. I'm very happy about it and a little bit upset about it. So I'm happy because if anybody didn't know, Despia is now currently in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. It's one of my favorite decks at the moment. I have the deck in real life. Super pumped to use it. Super pumped for the upcoming structure deck as well. So keep an eye out. I'm going to update my deck profile and probably do a new list. But for now, we've got the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel build that I have. So this is the build. Now, again, one of the reasons I'm not too happy is that we didn't particularly get all the cards that we would have wished that we got. We're missing cards that are really crucial, such as Branded in Red. We're missing Guardian Chimera. The DP engine is just very good in this deck, among others. So it's kind of different to a build I would normally go for, but it's kind of similar in terms of how I like to play it. So the theory and concept behind the deck profile that I have now is that it is purely a going second deck. So the whole purpose is just to go second, get a good amount of fusion monsters on the board, and hopefully break for game. The original plan was going to be a Masquerade deck to get Masquerade out as quick as possible, get three of them out, turn one, say to your opponent, go ahead, you can activate like four effects, something like that. But we don't have Masquerade either, so this is what we're left with. So we're going to start the profile off. We've got three Despia Tragedy. I do believe it pushes Oliver for the best Despia card, Despia monster in the deck. It reads, if it's sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect, you can add one Despia monster from deck to hand. So this is your main Oliver searcher. So as you can see, I'm going to be running stuff like Foolish Burial and Gold Sock purely for the Despia Tragedy. It also works very well with Branded Opening. Basically, Branded Opening lets you add or summon a Despia monster from deck. So you could play Branded Opening, toss your Tragedy. Branded Opening will summon the Dramaturge, possibly, if that's what your choice is. Tragedy's going to add the Oliver. Oliver will start to continue on your plays. It also allows you to go into stuff such as Link Reborn, Relinquished Anima. I don't particularly have them in this build yet. I would have Relinquished Anima in. I just don't have the rarity gems for it. So that's it for that. I wish I could have this in a better order, but I don't actually know if you can order it any differently. So we've got three Maxi and three Ash. And this is the what I'm going for just in terms of what I'm liking right now. Maxi's just any reason just to say go because I want to go second, especially just to be able to dig in for more cards. Being able to get the power cards such as the Shaddoll Fusion, the Patchwork, the Alibers. Basically, it's very common sense why Maxi is in here. Ice Blossom's basically here because it kind of hits every deck. You could run stuff like Ogre, Veiler, Imperm for, specific types of decks. Ice Blossom kind of just hits them all, meta or non-meta. I just do believe that right now, at the moment, in this current build, in this current way that Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel seems to be going around, I think it's the better option. So we're going to skip these bits for now, and we're going to see three Oliver. Kind of surprised it's super rare, kind of happy though. So Oliver's basically just the kind of the opposite of Tragedy, only it's when it's normal summoned or special summoned. So when you summon Oliver, you basically get to add a branded spell trap from deck to hand. More often than not, it's going to be the Despia Theater or the Branded Opening because that is literally all that we have right now. Also, its second effect is actually quite good. It comes up sometimes. So basically, if a face-off fusion monster you control leaves due to the opponent's card effect or by battle, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, special summon the Albert back, and then you get to negate the monster's effect that you targeted. So you're getting Albert back onto the board again. You could potentially get a negate. I believe it's pretty good. Both effects are just kind of really strong. The fact that it can recycle itself. Definitely the best normal summon, if not really the only normal summon in the deck now. So, three Albers a must. With the lack of Despia cards, branded cards, I would definitely not go down to two. I'm running two Dramaturge, and the reason for this is, yes, we don't have Branded in Red, which is a kind of a big dent to this deck's performance, but I'm running Polymerization, two Polymerizations, three Shaddoll Fusions, which can also fuse, and we're running two Theater, Despia Theaters, so it can kind of come up. It is bit of a bricky card, I know. I personally run two in the build I have now, but that is with Branded and Red, stuff like that. Because I'm going second, it's kind of the reason I went with two. So even having the Shaddoll fusion, using materials from hand, you could summon, say, a construct or a window. Well, it would have to be a window actually, because Dramaturge is a dark. Being able to summon that and getting the Dramaturge back, the polymerizations, getting the Dramaturge back, super polymerization also. So yeah, and then if a basically an extract monster is summoned during your, well, it doesn't even need to be during your opponent's turn. You can target one effect monster and feed negates effects, so it also has that effect. We've got two Albion. Albion, kind of, I'll admit, Albion is just kind of here just because I needed more cards. Albion's basically just, I'm running a 38 card deck. If you draw it, you can send a branded spell or trap, or an Albaz, Fallen of Albaz, from your deck to your grave, and you basically get to shuffle it back in, draw another card. So one combo that kind of is okay with it, I guess, is using Albion to send Branded Opening to the grave. Maybe you have a Despia Tragedy, and then on the following turn, you can use Tragedy's ability to banish itself from the grave to, is it to set? Target one Branded Spell Trap in the grave, set it to your feet. Yep, so you'll be able to set the Branded Opening if you really wanted it back that way. It's kind of long-winded, but I guess it is a slight little benefit to the effect. But yeah, that's... you can also summon it from your hand if you send the Despia Spell Trap from hand to grave. I wouldn't really recommend it unless you're pushing for damage or you're trying to get Zeus out, but yeah, it has a use, basically, that's why it's there. So, for the Shaddoll monsters, I run one dragon and one beast. So, I'm keeping it to a minimum. The reason I'm running two in that one is because I may want to sometimes use the actual Shaddoll fusion in my hand rather than from the deck. Beast is good because it lets you draw a card. If one an extra card, that's great for that. And then Dragon is just to pop a spell or trap. So if I'm going second, maybe there'll be a certain type of card I want to pop. Maybe like I don't know, some sort of face-up spell or trap. I don't know. Imperial Order if it wasn't banned, stuff like that. So yeah, it has that use. They're really only there for that reason. They're kind of bricky otherwise, unless I draw polymerization with them or the shell fusion. So they're kind of bricky, but they do have some sort of use. I run two Edge Imp Chain. I never used to like this engine. I didn't particularly understand how it was used. I wasn't really too keen on it. Very big fan of it now. I really love the advantage you can get from it. Having the patchwork to add this in the polymerization, and then if you have a tragedy as well, being able to fuse the Edge Imp and the tragedy into, say, I don't know, Mud Dragon, I don't know, whatever. I don't know. Or maybe the Despian Quartus. You're going to be able to add the patchwork to hand to use again for the next turn, and then Tragedy's going to add a monster. So you're basically fusing two monsters away and then gaining two cards back, and you're getting a fusion monster on board. I really like the engine. Obviously because of Edge Imp, when it's if this card is sent from the hand or field of the grave, you can add one free for a card from your deck to your hand. So being able to add patchwork back again is just such a big plus. So all the spells, polymerization, quite straightforward. It basically is only here just to fuse into certain things, maybe such as the Despian Quartus. Maybe the Proscanion may come up. I don't even think I have a late target actually whatsoever. No, I don't. Yeah, so Proscanion really is there just for the Super Poly target at the end of the day. Maybe I could run Ecclesia if it was in this game. I don't think it is a credible Ecclesia, but yeah, polymerization's just there, just for the patchwork engine. Foolish and Goldsock are both here for the tragedy, so Foolish and Goldsock basically just read now, search a Despia monster, which is kind of, it's a search card for the deck, basically, so can't turn your nose up at it. It's a very good card. One of each, perfect. Obviously, you can't run any more than one of each. If I could, I don't know if I would. I don't, maybe two of one and one of the other, just have three of, but happy enough. Very strong card in the deck. Shaddoll Fusion, yep, power card going second. It is basically just there to get materials into the grave, summon a monster onto the board, basically for nothing. It's also a negate bit, so one of the strongest cards in the deck, especially since we like go second, and the whole point is to get damage on board. I may put a different... no, I was going to say I may put another Shaddoll monster in the extra deck, but I don't even have any other attributes. I suppose max season Earth. I guess that's some sort of way to use it, but happy enough with it at the moment. The wind and the shoot and the construct will do fine. Patchwork, like I said, is just an absolute resource game winner. Like, see when you can start off. Again, it's another negate bait. See if you can start off with this, and you have this and tragedy. Like I said earlier, it's just such a strong combo. Being able to fuse just the edge imp and the tragedy to gain so much advantage and to get a monster on board. I think at this stage, when we don't have everything, it's too good of a card not to run. So I definitely recommend this engine, and definitely recommend 3 of this. Prosperity, again, it's here because we don't have a lot of the cards. If we had a lot of the cards, I might not run it. It's such as branded in red, just I guess it'll just have to do for now. That tournament knows about it's a very good card. It's just it kind of conflicts with Albert, so and tragedy, I guess. So it really is there for a last case, just really desperate push. Theater, the brand is basically a polymerization for the deck. It's field spell. It's basically fusion gate. So it lets you fusion someone level 8 or higher, fusion monster from your X deck, using monster from your hand or field. But it also has the effect, which is you can target one level 8 or higher fusion monster in your grave when a face-up non-fusion furry monster leaves the field by opponent's card effect and you special summon it. So it's good. It kind of, I was going to say it kind of helps you get DP back, but we don't have DP, but it helps you get fusion monsters back that you may have used maybe the turn before, something like that. So yeah, it's basically, yeah, it's a very good version of fusion kit, basically. Super Polymerization, another power card. Just gets rid of your opponent's board. I was kind of considering running the Guilty Knight or whatever the hell it's called. There's 2 warrior monsters. So, yeah, but that's just to kind of clear the board. We've got stuff like Mud Dragon. We have things like Starving Venom. Predaplant Dracus, the Pelliot, possibly. And then the Predaplant, whatever. Triffy, Ruffenham or whatever. And Proscanian kind of may come up sometimes. So, yeah. Basically just to clear your board card. Branded Opening, probably the best spell card in the deck. Up there with Fright for Patchwork, possibly. Depends, well, if you have the Despia and Tragedy in your hand, it's just such a good card. Because you're discarding a card, taking a Despia monster from your deck and adding it to your hand. Or Special Summon it, which is kind of big. So it helps push for damage with the Dramaturge. So always keep in mind, you don't have to add it to your hand, you can summon it. And it's a quick play, so it can kind of save you in some certain situations. Also, if a fusion monster would be destroyed by card effect, you banish this card from your grave instead. And it doesn't actually activate it, it just banishes, so your opponent can't actually negate this effect. So, very strong card. If every fusion deck had this type of card, it would be very strong. Extra deck, Mud Dragon is there for a super poly target. Basically, that's it. Wind is there, just in case I need to go first, and I can actually summon it, and possibly for the fact it can kind of push for game as well, why not? Construct again is there, just if I go on second, and I really just want to summon this, I can just fire things into the grave. Only thing is, I don't have a light, so I may need to actually add a light monster in. That was a bit of an oversight on my part. I would maybe even run, probably put the effect fillers in, maybe take a card and an eye shot, and then put 2 effect fillers in, maybe take one of the Albions out. So yeah, I would run 1 Albion, take an eye shot, and put 2 effect fillers in just for the construct. Starving Venom, push for game. You can summon it off Polymerization, you can summon it off Super Polymerization. The only bad thing is it has to be on the field, which is kind of meh. Dracus the Pele again, good for pushing for game, good for helping to negate monsters. It's actually quite easy to fuse 1 fusion monster and 1 dark monster, so especially in this deck, so it does come up sometimes. Quartus, the only real Despian card we have. We do have Proscanion, but it will not come up that much. So, great effect. So during the main phase, either player's main phase, which is good. It's quick effect. You can change all monsters currently on the field to 0 attack, except level 8 or higher fusions. Majority of the time, we're going to have 8 or higher fusions, bar Dramaturge. But yeah, it's still a good card. Maybe don't have it and Dramaturge on the field at the same time, so it's still good. And then if this card leaves the field, choose your opponent's card effect, you can add or special summon Fall of Albas or Despia monster from your deck. So again, being able to special summon the Albert, get the Albert's effect, great resource game, very good card. Super Poly target, I generally don't even know what it does. Gains attack equal to the original total attack of all monsters on the field counters. Sure, whatever. It's basically just there to scoop monsters off the board. Same with Priscanion, but Priscanion's actually kind of decent in terms of its effect, where you can target a extra attack monster basically in your opponent's grave during either player's main phase, quick effect, and summon it. So very, very good in that respect. And if it destroys a monster by battle, it inflicts damage equal to the attack or defense, whatever's higher. So again, pushing for gain is very good with it. Zeus is actually a kind of a little spicy attack that I've kind of put in myself in my actual real life deck profile as well. You get a lot of level 8s out. You've got the likes of Albion, if you can get it out. You have Dramaturge. Nearly all of the fusions are level 8, but the small few of them. So you can actually get it out. It's a good card, especially if you're going second. You push for game. You can't actually get game. You can summon the Zeus and just clear whatever's left. So does come up in some sort of situations. And then basically these 3 cards are just link 2s. That is their only reason whatsoever it is there. For that reason, they'll never come up, but it's there just to fill space. Boral Sword to push for game, but I'll very rarely go into it. So that's the deck profile. Like I said, I kind of wish that we had access to all the cards. Just being able to actually make the full power of the deck would be great. It's very frustrating the way they're releasing the cards. I do really think when a new set comes out, they should be putting these cards in the Master Duel. I don't know why it's taking so long, if they're just drip feeding them in for attention, but I just really don't understand it. A lot of people are using this as a kind of a just duel simulator because officially we don't have one. So, come on, Konami, just start putting cards in a bit quicker. I'll do an updated deck profile, possibly when they bring out the new cards or the cards that we're missing. God knows when that is. I really don't know. But that's it for the deck profile. Let me know if there's anything you would change. I'm sure there's a lot of people with different opinions. This is just literally me sitting down the day that I've seen that they're out and just quickly building a deck off the top of my head. There will be better decks. So just let me know, even if you've seen other people do certain engines or something that works better. Yeah, I'm here for the criticism. I want to actually improve my deck, so please work away and let me know your opinions in the comments. If you like the video, please like the video and have a look at the other videos. A lot of good Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon content on the channel. And if you like the content, subscribe. It goes a long way. We're pushed over 100 now, which was the goal, so let's try and get to 150 at some point. And who knows where we'll end up being. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope everybody stays safe. See you for the next video. Goodbye.